Good day and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at how you can get your hands on the Honeyback Mount, and also of course how you can unlock reputation for the Honeyback Hive Faction. Now there's a couple of things you need to know before we begin. Of course, the Honeyback Hive and the Honeyback Harvester's harness at this point in time are alliance only, and even if you unlock it, you will not be able to equip it with a horde character. Before you begin, you will also need one of two pets. You will either need Bumbles or you will need Seabreeze Bumblebee. Now, Bumbles is quite difficult to unlock because you essentially need to do a 7-day time-gated quest achievement called Let's Be Friends. You do not need to do that anymore. You can go and unlock Seabreeze Bumblebee one of two ways. So you can either buy it from the auction house, or you can go and purchase it from Sister Liana in Stormsong Valley, which I will show you shortly. So you will need one of those two things, and then also it's highly recommended, of course, that you have flying, as it will help you out a lot. Of course, dragon flying will help you out even more. So yeah, let's begin. Sister Ileana can be found here at Brennadam in obviously Storm's Wake or Stormsong Valley. She will give you the ability to buy yourself the Seabreeze Bumblebee. So if you look here, pair of bees wings, you require 250 polished pet charms, and then you will be able to purchase yourself the Seabreeze wings. So it's pretty straightforward. Obviously, you will need to have the pet charms on you, but then you will be able to purchase it. Otherwise, what you can do is just simply buy it off the auction house, which you'll see me do momentarily. Here you can see me able to buy the Seabreeze Bumblebee for 11,500 gold. By the way, great way to convert pet charms into gold. But yeah, so basically you can buy yourself the Bumblebee, and then when you have the money available, go and purchase it. Once you have the pet, so Seabreeze Bumble or Bumbles, you can summon them, and then once you have, you will see this little man here called Barry. Barry is covered in bees, but basically he says to you that if you decide to roll with him or follow your pet, you will eventually lead yourself to a new hive. So speaking to him is great. You can locate him here, just north on the coast by the Mildenhall Meadery in Stormsong Valley. You'll notice him by this little boat, and once you speak to him, he will have a little bit of a dialogue option pop up. Next, we have to follow the trail and begin our search for the hive. So to unlock the faction, or the third step will be to unlock the faction, and to do this you just need to basically fly to the point. So you will need to head over to the Honeyback Hive Mother. This can be located here, just across from Shrine of the Storm, kind of in line with the dungeon section. You will find a big old honeycomb on top of this mountain, and here you will find Barry speaking to the Hive Mother, who you can then converse with as well. So yeah, that's obviously the next step for you to go through. Barry will ask you to find something to appease the Hive Mother. You can come over here to this little jelly deposit on the ground. It's like literally directly diagonal from the Hive Mother. You can click this and then you will find a thin jelly. Once you've done that, you can then speak to Barry and present her the thin jelly, which will unlock the faction for you. So speak to Barry, and then you will be able to give the thin jelly over. Once you have done that, you have now officially unlocked the ability to increase the faction reputation. So how do we get reputation? Well, The first and one of the best methods of getting reputation is to defeat Honey Smasher, a rare elite you can find along the coastline here. Not only does he give you some reputation for the faction just by simply taking him out, but you also are able to, of course, pick up honey and other items from him. So you can see my Honeyback Hive reputation has increased by 600. You'll see I've picked up some rich jelly, and I also picked up a pretty cool little cosmetic. So that's kind of cool. Of course, there are also other ways. This can be done daily, which is great, and if you were to only do this, it would take you around 42 days, give or take, to get enough reputation from him alone. But there are other ways to speed this up, and fortunately this reputation is not time gated. The next step is going to be searching for jelly deposits. Now, jelly deposits can be found on the ground pretty much all over Stormsong Valley. There are a couple ways to improve how many you can find, and these honestly are pretty easy to find once you do the right stuff. So one of the best ways is to go to options, go to your graphical settings, and set ground clutter down to 1. This will help you by removing a lot of the interference you can find on the ground. Once you've done that, finding the jellies becomes significantly easier. You can see how I can see this jelly all the way over from where I was on the map, and it makes life a lot easier. Of course, this isn't the only method, but it does help quite a bit. The other method is to speak to old Barry Beekeeper here, who's outside where the queen was located, and you can purchase from him, once you get to Revered, the bee holder's goggles. Now these are incredibly helpful. They basically allow you to see the locations of jellies on the minimap. Of course, they are only available at Revered, but even then they are still very much worth it for you to consider purchasing for your character. If you really want to, you can of course buy the jellies off of the auction house. This will set you back a pretty penny in gold, but of course it does save you a lot of time if you are that way inclined. You also could technically make some money this way, although I wouldn't really say it's the best gold avenue, but hey, I mean, at this point you might as well try. So yeah, that is it. Pretty much for at least farming the jelly is the easiest way. The other event that you can do will be where you can find these honeyback harvesters. They show on your map as like rares. The locations are in the top left, and basically, yeah, you can speak to them, make some strange gestures, and this will initiate a wave-based combat event whereby you will take on waves of enemies. Now, as you clear these waves, you will eventually come across a rare enemy that will drop a fair chunk of rep for the faction. Eventually, you'll complete the event and receive a whole bunch of thin jellies or rare jellies, depending on how well you did. And of course, you can also receive certain quests that will give you reputation as well. Of course, handing in these events is super beneficial for you, giving you quite big chunks of EXP and reputation, I should say. But also, you can come speak to the nascent harvester, which is within this little honeycomb here. And by speaking to him, you can feed him all of the jellies you found, which will give you reputation as well. It will also push him to new phases of development, which is ultimately really quite good. So this is also a double-edged bonus as well. So hand in your jellies and hand in your quests, and you can go spam these events and find these jellies as much as you realistically want to. For example, just in filming for this video, I have pushed my reputation all the way into the friendly section, which is pretty good. So why are we doing this? Well, it's pretty straightforward actually. Firstly, there are two reasons. You have the Honeyback Hive Mother. She basically, if you get Exalted Rep with her and get this Nascent Harvester to the mature rank, which is this final ranking here, they will give you a quest called Leaving the Hive, which will give you the Honeyback Harvester Mount, which honestly is a pretty rad mount, all things considered, if you are, of course, into honey and bees. On top of that as well, Barry outside here will also give you some really cool rewards. If you speak to Barry, you will be able to get yourself those Beholder goggles that I mentioned. You'll also be able to get the butterfly net, which is something very, very interesting, and some useful items like the Summit Zephyr. The butterfly net basically is something that just gives you a 5-minute buff to leave rainbows behind you. It's really that simple. It's not anything too crazy. Now, it is, of course, a very cool little faction. There's nothing, that's too crazy outside of these rewards, but it doesn't take a while. It's something that you can easily farm, and while you've got some downtime, it's pretty chill to do, especially now with the item level differences. Not only can you farm the waves easily, but also you can pretty much go and collect the jellies without having any interference. That's that. Unfortunately, the faction does not count for exalted reps or anything like that, but it is still something really, really cool and a cool reward to grab. No reputation buffs will affect it, but yeah, that's it from me. See you guys in the next one. Bye.